I'm going to be making a sailing boat themed tea light holder tray today. So I think we'll start off making the boat first. So I'm just going to pop these other bits to one side for a minute and pop those up there, and let's do the boat. For the main part of the boat, I'm going to be using the Let's Resin Magic Pour. So let's just get some of this measured out. I've mixed up some of the Magic Pour. I'm going to use the Homeware Designs pigments in cinnamon, latte and chocolate. So a couple of drops of each of these going into there. Let's start with 2 of each first, see how that looks. A couple of that one, and then a couple of this one. Pop that in there. Want this to come out like a sort of woody colour. Just going to give that a little mix and then pour that straight into the mould. There's quite a bit of detail around this boat, around the edge, so I'm just going to pour it nice and slowly and let it find its own way in there. So we'll get this one topped up first, and then I'm going to do the same with this one here. Just going to slowly pour that into the mould. Let's top up that bottom bit, and I think I'll also do the oars as well. So a bit in there, bit in there. Let's just fill this one up to the top. There. Right, okay, I'll find something else for those. So I'm just going to leave these to cure now, and then I'll see you back in a little while. I've mixed up some more of the Magic Pour because I thought we could do this one while we're waiting for that one to cure. So I'm going to add to this one some of the Buonite pigment in black, and I just want this to be like a sort of grey marble effect. So I'm just going to add, oops, that might have been too much, that's squirted out. Hopefully it's not, but I'm just going to mix that in, and then we're just going to pour that straight into this mould here. I think that'll be okay actually. Hopefully I've made enough. Just about, I think. Yep. Right, okay, so we're going to leave all of these bits to cure now, and then I'll see you back for the next bit. These have all cured up now, and with the leftover Magic Pour from this one, I just made a little anchor there. Right, so let's pop these out and see how they look. Let's get this one out first. And these moulds, the lovely Tracey from MiniscenesGB sent me these moulds. The Sailboat and this lovely round pot, and these are from the, I'm not sure, I don't think this one, but these, the Sailboat is definitely from the Resin Mold Box that you can get. So that's that one. That's lovely. So next let's get this boat section out. And Tracey's already done a video using this boat mould, so I'll link that in the description box for you, and then you can check out how she made hers. Right, so that, let's just pop that back in the right way first. Right, so there's our boat. Oh, pleased with how that's looking. Lovely, like that. Right, need to be really careful getting this section out. It's really thin, especially those oars as well. Right, how am I going to do this? Let's see if I can lift it up from this way. See if I can get it out that way without it snapping. So far so good. I might have to do these oars at the same time. Just going to work my way along. Nearly there. Let's hold those down. Oh, lovely. They came out in one piece. So that's the top section of the boat, and that sits in there, and that's the bit that holds the sail. And there's my two little oars. Lovely. Right, okay, next. So let's make the sails next. I think I'll do both of these, but I'm going to do these in resin. So I'm just going to go and get some resin mixed up, and I'll see you back in a minute. I've mixed up some of the Let's Resin 1-to-1 epoxy resin, and I'm going to add to that some of the Fluids resin ink in petrol. So I'm going to pop a couple of drops of that in. Well, shall I just do one drop? Let's just do one drop for the time being. And I'm also going to add into this gorgeous glitter mix that Tracey also sent me. Look at that, it's gorgeous. So let's pop some of that into there as well. Oh, it's got like silver flakes in it as well. That's stunning. Right, I don't know why I put that other stick in there. Right, let's take that one out, get that one out of the way, and then get this mixed in. That's beautiful. Look at that. Love that. Right, I'm just going to give my mould a quick spritz with some 99% alcohol, and then I'm just going to get this poured. Let's pour this one first, just in case I haven't mixed up enough. Get this into this mould first of all. Right, so I'm just going to let that settle down for a bit. Just give that a little shake, and then just going to drizzle some of this down into that section down there. Oh, I love this mix. This is gorgeous. Right, and then I need some down this section here. Right, and then we can just top the rest of that up. Put it in that middle bit there. Let's do this one as well. Pop that into there. And then get the rest of that into this one down here. Let's see if I can do this without making even more of a mess that I've made already. Right, let's just let that level off for a bit. And pop a bit more down into these flag sections. Pop some into there. Bit in there. Let's just see if I can tidy that top section up. That's better. Right, I need to find something else for that little bit there. Let's see if I can. No, let's just leave that there. And I have put some of the clear resin in this little pot as well, and I'm just going to add to that some of the Tea Expert white pigment paste. Just going to pop a bit into there, and then get that mixed in, and then I'm just going to pop that into these little bits here. I think we've got like a little life buoy there. Not sure what that one is, but we'll pour that one anyway. And a couple of starfish. So a bit in that one, a bit in that one. I'm not sure if I've got enough there to do the seagull. Let's do his face in the white, and then maybe we could do his body in this glitter mix. And then let's see if we've got enough here to do his legs. Pop a bit down into there. Just about enough of that. Right, so I'll find something for that leftover, and then I'll see you back when this is all cured. These are all cured now, and with the leftover resin, I just made a little simple keychain and added a bit of washi tape on there, and then top coated it with UV resin. So that's that one. Right, let's get these out now. See how they fit in the boat. Pop this one out. And let's get these other little bits out as well. So we've got another pair of oars. A little seagull. Oh, he's adorable, isn't he? And then these other little bits here. Little life buoy. And we can decorate some of these bits a bit later. 2 starfish. Beautiful. Right, so let's pop those bits to one side for a minute. And let's see how these fit in. So that's the first sail. That blue glittery mix is gorgeous. I love that. And then that's that one. Bit of overpour there, but that's just popping off quite nicely. Beautiful. So that fits in there. Oh, it's a bit thin. I might need to do a back coat because I've underpoured this anyway, so I've got a lip round there. So if I do a top coat with some UV resin on there, that should thicken that up. And then that will sit in there like that. Or that one like that. Beautiful. Right, so let's do the tray next. Let's get some resin mixed up and we can start doing the tray. I've mixed up some of the Let's Resin 1:1 epoxy and split that into 3 pots. In the first pot, I'm going to add some of the sapphire blue alcohol ink from Let's Resin. So a couple of drops of that one going in there. Let's just do 3 drops. And then in the next one, I'm going to use the cerulean blue. So 3 drops of that going in there. And then in the last one, I'm going to use the turquoise, again from Let's Resin. So 3 drops going in there. And then I'm just going to get these all mixed up. These are all mixed up now. And the one that I put in, the turquoise, it looked a bit green to me. So I've added a couple of drops of the midnight blue instead. So I'm just going to start by adding the deeper blue up this end. Pop some of that into there. And then I'll follow that with the next shade of blue. Pop some of that down into there. And then finally the lighter one. So pop some of that, oopsie daisies, some of that going down into there. Let's just use up everything that's in those pots. So I'm just going to top that one all up. So that's that one. And let's add this last little bit of this one up here. Fill in that section there. And then I'm just going to top up this last little bit with what I've got left in this one. So just fill in that up there. Blend those in a little bit. Give that a little bit of a swish around. Let's bring some of that into there and some of that into that one. That will do, I think. And then I'm just going to give that a little spritz with some 99% alcohol. Pop any bubbles that are on the top surface there. So we'll leave this to cure and then I'll see you back for the next bit. While the tray's curing, let's finish off the boat. So I'm going to use a silver chrome marker pan and I'm just going to colour in the flag on this sail and give that a silver flag at the top there. Just going to take that line straight across there. Let's do that a little bit lower, like that. Lovely. And I think I might actually go round the heart as well. So I'm just going to outline this heart, make that stand out a bit more. Lovely, like that. Right, so next we're going to seal the pot and the boat. So I'm going to be using my own sealing wax that I've made using coconut oil and soy wax. So I'm just going to pop some onto a cloth and then rub that all over the pot. And then I'm just going to leave this on for about 10 minutes and then buff it off. So I'm going to do that for that pot and the boat. So I'll just quickly do that. See how that brings out that colour and gives it a sheen. Beautiful. So I'll get these done and then I'll see you back for the next bit. So the sail needs to be stuck into there like that. So to do that, I'm going to use some of the Let's Resin bonding UV resin, and I'm just going to put a little bit at the back there, a bit there and a bit there, and sort of tack that into place. So I'm just going to cure that, and this cures really quickly. It only takes about 10 seconds to cure. So I'm just going to quickly set this into place. So that should be securely in place now. So that's the sailboat finished. Right, so we just need to wait for the tray to cure and then we can move on to the next bit. This is cured now to the point where it's still tacky. So while it's at this stage, I'm going to add in a couple of little starfish. So I'm just going to pop a couple of those straight down onto there. So I think I'll put one there and then another smaller one maybe over here. Pop that in there. And then I'm going to use a piece of this is just a cellophane bag, and then I'm just going to add in some ripples, just pushing down into there, just to create some little wavy sections going on. I think that would do. Don't need any up that section because that's going to be where the pot's going to sit. So let's leave that as that. That would do, I think. And then I'll see you back when this is fully cured. This is cured up enough now, and I've mixed up some more of the Let's Resin 1:1, and I'm going to add to that some of the Let's Resin mica powder in gold. So let's just pop some of that into there. That should be enough, I think. And then get that mixed in. Then I'm just going to peel away this here, and then we're just going to pour this straight over the top and fill up the rest of the mould. So hopefully this will look like the sand at the bottom. Hopefully I've made enough. And then I'm just going to work that out to the edges. Doesn't really need to be all the way full up, but I don't think it's going to be far from it. Right, that's all covered now. Let's just use this last little bit in here. Scrape out as much as I can from that. That would do. Right, okay, and then I'm just going to give that a quick spritz with some 99% alcohol. Pop any bubbles, and we'll leave this to cure now, and then I'll see you back for demold. This is all cured up now, so let's pop this out and see how it's looking. Let's pop that to one side. Right, let's have a look. Ah, okay. Not exactly what I was expecting, but that's not too bad. Right, okay, we can work with that. So that's going to go there. Let's take those little oars out. And then that's going to sit in there like that. And then our little oars can go on there. So I'm just going to mix up some resin and then we can do the next bit. I've mixed up some more resin and I'm going to add to that some of the sapphire blue alcohol ink. So I'm just going to pop a few drops of that into there and then get that mixed in. Let's just try a little bit on there and see if it needs, yeah, that's going to need some more. So let's pop a few more drops into there and then mix that up. See if that's any better. Let's get in there. I think we could do with a little bit more still. Give that a mix. Right, let's see how that's looking. That's better. I think we'll go with that. So I'm just going to pop these ones off for a minute and then just fill up all this tray with the blue. I didn't put those starfish in a very good position, so I'm going to add some more to those. And I'm not worried about losing the depth of the tray because it's not going to be a tray as such. So I'm just going to work this out to the edges. I think let's just put all of that in there. Scrape out my pot. And then just work that all the way out to the edge. And then I'm going to set that back into there. So just layering that down into the resin. Give it a little squish just so as it makes contact with the bottom. And then the boat can go in there. Give that a little wiggle. And then I'm going to add some of these. This is crushed oyster shell grit. So I'm going to place some of this round my stone here. So I'm going to lose that starfish that I put down earlier. But that's okay, we can add some more. Pop that down into there. And then let's add a few shells just in some places there. Pop a couple down in there. And then a couple of the starfish. That one's broken. Let's just pop one down in there. Let's just put the broken one to the edge. Put that one there. And let's put that one down in this corner here. Drop that in. And then I'm just going to push that down into the resin. Pop some over the top. And I'm just going to drizzle, I think I've still got a little bit left in here. Let's just drizzle some over the top of those stones there. Right, that would do. Let me just clean my hands and then, right, I'm just going to take the glove off for a minute. And then I'm just going to place my oars. Let's put one there. And then the other one like that. And they should set in there okay. I can still lift that out if I need to. Let's put those at a more of an angle there, like that, I think. And then I'm just going to give that a quick squirt with some 99% alcohol. And then we'll leave that to cure. And then I'll see you back for the next bit. This is all cured now. So for the candle part of it, I've got some of this candle sand. So I'm just going to pour that into there. And then spread that out. Just get rid of any of those lumps. Squish that out. Level that off. And then I'm just going to use a normal candle wick and just cut some of that off. Drop a bit of there. And then that can just poke straight down into the middle there. And then for the lights on the boat, on a sailing boat or on any boat, you have port and starboard lights. So I've got these little lights here, and when you pull these bits out, they light up. And if you keep hold of the little bits of paper, you can pop them back in. So I'm going to colour this top bit in red. And that's port, which is left. And then on the other one, I'm going to colour in green, which is starboard side. And that's the right hand side. So that's those two. And then I'm going to keep that one white because that one's going to go at the back. So I pop that back one in there. And then the red one on the left. So that can go there. Green one on the right. Going to pop that one in there. If it had an engine, you'd have a white one at the front facing forward, but it doesn't, so we're going to leave it as that. So that's my little boat scene light finished. So thank you ever so much for watching my video today, and stay tuned for the pictures at the end to see it all lit up. Bye for now.
Crafting on a houseboat, oh so free. Me and my husky on the open sea. Resin molds and hand light as a breeze, creating treasures with such ease. Waves are rocking softly, makes me smile. Colors swirling, blending, endless style. Sunshine through the window sets a scene. Houseboat life is like a living dream.